James Thomas Morning Blend. I have a very special guest with me, Kevin Stevens, and I kind of caught you on the fly.
That's right, that's right.
And you notice the shirt says Loyola University, right?
That's right. That's
You
right.
guys just won the basketball game,
That's
right?
right. We're down here in the Missouri Valley tournament, so had a good game. We're having fun.
Now, what do you do at the university?
So I'm the dean of the Quinlan School of Business. So I'm in charge of the undergraduate and the graduate programs. We have about 2,100 undergraduates and about 800 graduate students.
Well, and where exactly are you located?
We're right in the heart of downtown Chicago, right by the water tower and the John
Right,
Hancock building.
yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Interesting. Now, you and I got a chance
Yeah.
real quickly to talk about a particular program that just kind of piqued my interest.
Yeah, for sure. We are doing something that I think is unique in higher education. We have a program in a school that we call Arupe College. Father Arupe was a Jesuit. He was at Hiroshima, of all things, when the bomb went off. Okay. And so our prior president was Father Garanzini, and he said, what are we going to do as a university and as a business school to help break the cycle of poverty in Chicago? As you know, Chicago is really two cities, one very rich and one very poor. The zip code that our school is in, 60611, if it were a country, it would have one of the highest life expectancies in the world. It's like 88 years. You go 3 miles southwest, and the life expectancy might be 65 years. So this is just not sustainable.
That sounds like what we're doing here in St. Louis.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all the great urban centers in the United States have this problem. So we know that there are lots and lots of talented kids on the south and west sides of the city that can't afford Loyola Chicago. And also kids whose test scores do not reflect who they are. Because as you know, test scores and income track one for one, right? So 3 years ago, we founded Arupe College, which is a community college nestled within Loyola that gives associate degrees. So when we started 3 years ago, we had 175 students show up. We interviewed about 1,000 kids to get down to 175. 5 of the kids were literally homeless. About 40 of the kids were undocumented. Over 90% were students of color. Everyone was eligible for the federal Pell Grants. So that means their family income, family of 4, is about $25,000 or less. Wow. So that's not making it, right?
No.
So of that 175 kids, I went to the graduation, the first graduation. I've been to 9 million graduations. Right? That's what I do. This was the best graduation that I'll ever go to. Of the 175 kids, about 136 crossed the stage, about an 80% success rate. You look at the city colleges of Chicago, the graduation rate ranges from 8 to 12 or 15%. So what we do to make this work is the tuition we charge these students is less than a third of our regular tuition, and it's very, very high touch. So right now there are about 300 students in the program. We have 5 academic counselors, a social worker, a job placement person, a career placement. And unlike when we went to school, if we stumbled, which I did with a lot of regularity, I knew that I could do it. I never doubted myself. It's like, oh, I was out too late last night, or I didn't study. For these students, often they feel like they don't belong. And so we do a lot of high touch, of encouraging students, keeping them on track. And the students I've met there are exactly what the workforce wants. They're motivated, they're hardworking, they're smart, and they are hungry. They're the diverse workforce that the city of Chicago or St. Louis or pick a city, that's what they need. And what we're seeing of late is that the other Jesuit schools, like St. Louis, Marquette, Fordham, it goes on, are starting to say, hey, we could do this too. And it won't be just Jesuit schools. There are other great universities like WashU or other places that I think need to emulate this model.
Where can we get information on this model?
I will certainly send it to you, but for the TV audience, if you go to Loyola's website, www.luc.edu, and go to Arupe, A-R-R-U-P-E, it's very easy to find. And we are finding people from throughout the country are responding to this model. And I get asked a lot, we have our first lay president, and are we still, we don't have a priest now, are we still true to our mission? And when people ask me that question, my first answer is, here's what we're doing at Arupe. It's not the only thing we're doing, but I think it speaks volumes.
It sounds like Father Collins at St. Louis University.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a character.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You know, it's interesting, you talked about, because the name of the person it was named after, he was at Hiroshima?
Right, he was a doctor in Hiroshima, right, and then he became the provincial general, the father general of the Jesuits, and he was in El Salvador, I believe it was El Salvador when there was a murder of 4 missionaries, so he's really lived through some harrowing times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where do you see the future of this particular program going? Do you see the other cities and colleges really embracing this?
Yeah, I really do, and I think it behooves corporate, I was going to say Chicago, but corporations throughout the United States. If you say you want a diverse workforce, if you say you want to have the great cities come back from this vicious cycle of poverty, this is the time to put up.
Or shut up.
I was going to say be quiet, but shut up. It really is, because this is what you could do. So there's one of the accounting firms right now, one of the large ones, is offering apprenticeships to the Arupe students, the accounting students from there. They're paying them like $25 an hour. They pay them like $10,000 over the summer, and they're not Xeroxing. They are part of the workforce. We need everyone to jump in. And you don't have to be a business student. You could be in education. You could be in social work. But it really is time. These lives that are being tossed away for lack of income in this country, we can't afford to educate these kids.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy, and the ROI. Right, the return on investment is
huge.
It's huge, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I'm glad I got the chance
All
to
right.
meet you.
Well,
That
nice
was
to
just
talk to you.
amazing, definitely.
Well, thank you for having me.
Kevin Stevens,
Yep,
Dean of the Business School.
at Loyola University of Chicago. Go Ramblers.
Go. And you guys did that today.
We did that today. Alrighty.
Jay Summers Morning Blend. We'll be right back after this.